We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Nice to see everybody. Let's see, I don't want to see me. I want to see y'all. What we'll do first here in our Sunday gathering is Dawn, although I didn't tell her, Dawn will play our, she's like, what? Dawn will play our opening song, and we will greet each other on the board, just as if you were in a brick and mortar church, you would lean over the pew and say hey to everybody. Let's say hey to everybody on the chat board. Yeah, I just want to express my my gratitude for everything being just the way it is. And as I go to that place, I feel the joy in life itself. And it's that joy that I hope to share with you. And the invitation to just be in this moment. And for all of us to hear what we need to hear and see what we need to see. With gratitude. Amen. Okay. So Shawna's going to read for us. And Shawna, I bet you didn't get that text message I sent you this morning. Did you?
Yes, I got it and answered. So would you like me to start?
Excellent. Yeah, so Shawna's going to read for us from, I had originally said Romans chapter 13 through 15, and I'm like, wait, that leaves out the punchline. So I asked Shawna to read for us Romans chapter 13 through chapter 16. Shawna, you can write ahead and read for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for asking. So anybody that wants to read along, it's NTI chapter 279. So chapter 13, you are not in the world. I have told you this already, but you do experience the world because you designed the world as an experience. The world is an image in the mind, or better said, a picture thought within the thought of spirit. It is an experience because it was designed as an experience. But it is not your reality. It is within you. Everything that seems to be true about the world is a part of the experience you deemed to have. In this way, none of it is to be rejected. For to reject an experience that you asked to have is to deny that you are the designer of the experience. This is to deny your truth. This is how you are to look at the world, as an experience that you set up for your learning. Live through the experience of observing what it is, and you will see what you came to learn. You will see that the truth is perfect, and your true desire is your home. Your thought was just an idea, and you will easily relinquish this idea for the truth. And you will be grateful that the truth is always true. This is how you are to live your experience, remembering that it isn't true. But remember that it is an experience chosen for learning, and let your brother live his experience as he chooses. Forget not his truth. Be grateful for it. Love his truth, which is also you. But grant him his experience and love him for that as well. He is learning what you have come here to learn. Look on the world and remember what you have learned, even as the experience seems to continue. Remember your place, which is to accept your lesson now and be grateful that you see as you see. You can stay in the world at the end of your learning to show your brothers what you've learned. but you are teaching no one except yourself and taking time to accept what you know. When you have learned the lesson, you will let go of illusion because you will have no need for it anymore. Until then, remember, everything you do for yourself, and then learn what you have come to learn. It is your lesson designed and given for you. Chapter 14. Judgment is the tool of illusion, and judgment was first used against an idea and against yourself. From that, judgment seemed to spread with illusion. But since all illusion is within the mind, judgment could not spread anyplace else. Whenever you seem to judge anything, any situation, or any person that seems external to yourself, you are judging an illusion of thoughts and ideas within the mind. Therefore, you are continually judging yourself. Since judgment is the building block of illusion, applying false meaning and making illusion real, judgment of yourself does this to you. It hides your truth and presents an illusion of you that isn't true. Each time you seem to judge someone or something, you're judging thoughts in your mind, thereby judging yourself. In believing your judgments, you believe you are what you are not. This is how your illusory self is made and upheld. To know yourself, capital S, which is your true desire, you must lay judgment aside. Remember that everything you experience, every person, every place and circumstance, is a thought within the mind of you. And each judgment keeps the veil of illusion alive, which hides you from you. Also remember that nothing is as it seems. It is within the mind of you, thought up by you for the purpose of having an experience. And that way, the only judgment that can be applied is that it is what it is. The experience is the experience it was made to be. It is the perfect reflection of a wish. It is everything you asked to see. In this way, you may be grateful for everything you have made. You asked a question, and you have discovered the answer. In itself, the answer to the question is perfect. Rejoice when you look on the world, for it is the answer to the question you asked. And now you have the answer. You need not ask the question anymore. You need no longer be puzzled. You need not judge and apply meaning to the meaningless. You may put your curiosity to rest. You do not want love different than it is, for as it is love, and love is all you truly want. And now you see. Now you may let go of your attachment to illusion. You may let go of expression of self-will. You may surrender any hidden wish to see differently. The answer that you asked for has been given. Be grateful for the answer. Surrender to it for what it is. It is not what you want. It is only what you wanted to see. And now that you've seen it, its purpose is done. Now that your attachment is released and your question has been answered, you can let go of the illusion you do not need. That is what you are doing now. You're letting go of what you no longer have purpose for. Letting go of illusion is a glorious occasion. Celebrate that your lesson has been learned. As illusion presents itself within the mind that you are, smile at it, remembering the purpose that it had, and let it pass by realizing it has no purpose for you now. It has served its purpose for you. You do not want what you thought you might want. You want all God has given you instead. When the illusion seems real within the mind that you are, do not fear your experience. Remember that its reality is a statement of your truth, and rejoice that you are reclaiming your truth again. In knowing yourself, you know love without division, for the wholeness of love is the wholeness and fullness of you. Chapter 15. Now that you see, I ask for your help. You can be used by me for the healing of the mind if you are willing. In order to be most helpful, you must be willing to lay yourself aside, for you can only be helpful to me when you are under my direction, and I can only direct you when you are willing to surrender to me. Everything is up to you. You are the free Son of God. Nothing can be coerced upon you, nor is it my will to ask anything of you that you do not want to give. But if you're willing to give yourself to me for my use, I will make you useful to the healing of the mind. Through your surrender, we are made one, even within the illusion of division. Through your surrender, our heart is combined, and you shall know me through yourself. You do not see yourself as me yet, which means that you see with the eyes of illusion. But with understanding and willingness and your complete surrender, you shall see me as you. We shall be known as one in your awareness. And where we are joined, all are joined in love. So you shall know oneness, and you shall be divorced from the image of division forever. Laying down your will is important to your service to me, for your illusory will is not my will. Your illusory will is your desire to have things different. Your illusory will is your desire to have things your way. But if you look at the world and remember that it is the expression of your illusory will, you will again remember to return to your true will, which is the same as mine. In surrendering to me, you surrender to yourself. In this realization, you are swept with peace and joy, for your true will is your true desire. And in its recognition, you find your gratitude to yourself. Pray then for your own end. Pray to your Father with willingness to let go of thy illusory self. It is nothing to you, and it keeps you from the realization of your truth. Do not fear the passing of this self you call home. It is not your home, and you do not belong there within your awareness. Your awareness belongs to me. I see your true self, and I'm waiting here with you to share yourself with you. Blessings in your prayers for willingness. Do not take your prayers lightly. They are your energy which feeds your strength. Through them, your truth shall be known. Chapter 16. Greet one another. In greeting one another, you greet yourself, being of one mind with me. There is no one that you meet that is not of me. So there is no one that you meet who is not you also. As you greet him, you greet yourself. Give patience to your brother, and you give patience to the one that you are. Give trust to your brother, and you give trust to the one that you are. Give hope to your brother through your practice of my every word, and you give message to yourself that my word is true. Give love to your brother by greeting him as one in you, and you give truth to the mind that is yourself. Be humble with your brother, and you recognize his true spirit, which is yours also. Give honor to your brother, and you give remembrance that your only truth is me. Give to your brother as you would give to yourself, in holy remembrance of me, and you give of your willingness to release the world and awaken from the dream of fear. Give in peace through thought to the world that is you. This is the way to remember your truth, which is peace and freedom and love. Give thought to your thoughts and be aware, for that which is thought is you. Believe the thoughts that speak not of your truth, and you accept a message that's untrue. To be free of delusion, release delusional thoughts. Listen to them no more. Be aware that you perceive and believe as you think. Question what you think against that which you truly desire. To let go of division-based thoughts is to let go of all that isn't true. This frees the mind of what it believes and opens it to remember its truth. Now I ask you to remember your Father, whose will has sent this voice to you. It is the will of oneness and peace, of truth that is forever true. To remember your Father is to remember your truth. You are loved and you are forever free. In your oneness, you are blessed as the Holy Son of God. In your oneness, you are forever your truth. Love yourself as love is what you are. Forever be kind and gentle. Give nothing that is not deserving in the mind of peace, and you honor your truth through thought. Amen. Thank you, Jacquelyn.
Thank you, Shawna. It's a lovely reading. Thank you. So, I kind of feel like saying, okay, enough said, right? It was all in there. But let me talk about how this struck me. And I will tell you, I mean, anybody who's been around Awakening Together for a while has read those chapters before. But it's funny how we read and don't hear. My topic today is how to love your life. When I sent this to Dawn for publication, you know, she publishes a little description on the website of what will be talked about, and I had sent a couple of paragraphs, and only one of those got published, and I was like, that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. The first paragraph was the following, and this is really where I began the talk. Began to explore what I want to share with you here today. And that is that everyone's circumstances are perfect. If they don't seem perfect, we have to ask, do I want this circumstance to be different than it is? I'm just taking a minute to decide where I where I want to start with this, and I think that this opportunity to speak this morning is proof of the fact that my life is perfect for what I need to learn. I can tell you that I didn't originally want to talk. I was looking up, who the minister was, so I could send them, the reminder and the announcements and that sort of thing. And I went, it's me. It's perfect timing. It's perfect timing. And I had noticed personally that things had begun to feel a little bit stagnant for me. So that's not the first time that's ever occurred. And I was also beginning to feel like I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone. And again, that was not an unfamiliar. Let's see, it's a little dark in here. Let me turn the light on. That was not an unfamiliar place either, although I wasn't really sure, so what does this mean? What does this mean exactly? And as I began to explore this, I had an opportunity to chat with Regina about what was going on with me. And well, the first thing that Regina suggested was maybe my desire for awakening was not great enough. Well, that felt like an insult. I knew it wasn't, but that's how it struck me. It's like, oh my goodness. But what her statement helped me to do, and I think what Regina keyed in on, was that there was really no juice in my practice. She really keyed in on that stagnation. And when I say in my practice, I mean in my daily life, because of course that is my practice. The living of my daily life. And Regina said that she recognized that desire to just be left alone because she had experienced something similar at some point in her own life. And really that underneath that desire to be left alone was the belief that everything in my life was an obstacle to my awakening. And she shouldn't have had to, but she did point out that belief isn't true. The belief that everything is an obstacle. Everything in my life is an obstacle to my awakening. And then she shared with me her memory of an interview with John Sherman. John Sherman woke up in prison. And her memory was of an interview with John Sherman, and the interviewer was like, "Oh my goodness, your going to prison was so perfect for you. It was the perfect event, the perfect thing to happen in your life that would make you awaken." And John Sherman responded to the interviewer, "Yes, and your life is perfect for you." And so this conversation really made me want to look at how is my life perfect for my awakening. Not an obstacle, but perfect for my awakening. And as I meditated, and contemplated on this question, I was actually reminded of something that I had written back in 1983 for Unity's Daily Word magazine. My sweet sister Connie had that framed for me, and it's on the wall in my living room. And what I was reminded of was this reference to Paul and his advice that we be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. As always, I'm led by grace to see what I need to see. So that's from Romans 12. Notice we didn't read 12 today. Romans 12:12. So I went and I looked at Romans in NTI because I knew there was something in here for me. It's not about changing the world. Don't be conformed to the world. See what is the perfect will of God. Is the way that I took that. So I began to look at Romans. And I saw that really set the stage for what was to come in NTI Romans 13 through 16. So so there are several things I want to talk to you about today and all the time we have left. And that is things that are important to understanding what we're asked to do when we're asked to love what is, right? It's like, if I don't love my life, why not? Why not? What is this loving all thing? What does this mean? What is it that I'm being asked to do when I'm asked to practice the loving all method, when I'm asked to love what is, when I'm asked to let all things be exactly as they are? And there's a few things that we need to know in order to answer that question. The first is, what is the world? The second is, what is love? The third is, what are the blocks to loving what is, or loving all? And the fourth is, although I don't have it down here quite that way, is what's the alternative, right? What are the alternatives to practicing the blocks to loving what is, to loving all? And as Shawna read to us in Romans, particularly in Romans chapter 13, that chapter answers the question, what is the world? Romans 13 starts with, you are not in the world. I've told you this already, but you do experience the world because you design the world as an experience. And we're all familiar with the tiny man idea, right? That's what the Course calls it. Here in Romans, in NTI Romans 2, it describes the tiny man idea as the question, what would it be like if things were different than the truth? if things are different than they are? This world is the answer to that question. This is what things would be like. You know, we've been told many times that by many masters and many texts, and right here in Romans 16, love is what you are. Love is what we are. Love is the truth of what we are. So this world was designed, as Romans says, it was designed as an experience. It says this is how you are to look at the world, as an experience that you set up for your learning. The experience of something different than love. So the world, so we're having an experience of the world. We're having an experience that is different from the truth. And so what are we supposed to learn from that? We learn that we don't want an experience that's different from the truth. We learn that we don't need things to be different. So, you know, as I practice the loving all method, for me, and perhaps your experience is different, but for me, it was more like a tolerance. It was like, this is what a good spiritual student should do, right? Okay, I can put up with that, and I can put up with that, and I can put up with that. But that's not what we're being asked to do. So let's talk about what let's talk about what love is. In Gentle Healing Year 2, we recently read a tip in which Regina defined love as openness, or the all-inclusive nature of emptiness, and noted that its opposites are judgment and division. So love is perfect allowance. Love allows everything. It's perfect openness. Openness, or the all-inclusive nature of emptiness. In Journey Beyond Words, Yeshua states that love is the absolute freedom to create and be. And A Course in Miracles, of course, in its introduction, I was surprised to find this in the introduction. I knew it said it somewhere. It says, this course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. Again, love is what we are. It's not an emotion. It's the natural state of our being. Love is that which is always present. As the Course points out, we're not always aware of our inherent nature because of our blocks. So what are the blocks to the awareness of our inherent nature of love as love? It's self-will. We're told right here in Romans, it's self-will. What is self-will? Self-will is simply wanting things to be other than they are. Let me see if I can find that. Here it is. This is on page 283 in Romans 15. It says, laying down your will is important to your service to me. For your illusory will is not my will. Your illusory will is your desire to have things different. It's the recreation of that tiny mad idea. Your illusory will is your desire to have things different. Your illusory will is your desire to have things your way. But if you look at the world and remember that it's the expression of your illusory will, you will again remember to return to your true will, which is the same as mine. That takes us back to, now, what's the world? What's it for? It's to show you something other than what you are. So, you know, when Regina said, well, maybe your desire for awakening is not as strong as it needs to be. That's not how she said it, but something like that. Isn't strong enough, I think she said. What's really going on is what I'm doing is trying to use the world to get me what I want to get, right? To serve this illusory will, to be whatever mind conjures up as the things that I need in order to be happy. It's the pursuit of that illusory will, that if this, and this were different, oh my God, I'd be so happy. It's the wrong use of the world. What Romans 13 tells us is, if you look at the world, remembering what it was made for, you will remember your true desire, which is not to have things different. It says, now that your attachment is released and your question has been answered, you can let go of the illusion you do not need. That is what you're doing now. You are letting go of what you no longer have purpose for. I no longer need to have things different than they are. That question's been answered. What would it be like if things were different from love? This is it. So if I can look at the world and see it as a reminder that I don't need things to be different. This is where I remember my true desire. This is where I remember my true self. Again, what is love? Love is perfect, open allowance. What am I? Perfect, open allowance. So, you know, the loving all method is not just a good idea. It's not just, oh, you know, well, spiritual students tolerant. No, the loving all method is teaching me to be what I am. Perfect, open allowance. That's love. It's not an emotion. It's not a good idea. It's what I am. So if I'm if I have judgments about how this moment ought to be different, if I have judgments about what, how this moment could be better, what am I feeding? What am I doing? I'm using judgment, the building block of illusion, to build some more. Is that what I want? Of course not. That's not what any of us want. So how do I use the circumstances in my life? Do I use the circumstances in my life to, do I want to manipulate them? Do I want things to change? Do I want to continue building that illusion? Or do I want to learn what I am? Perfect acceptance, perfect allowance. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where I see how strong my desire for awakening is. Do I look at the world and smile, remembering what it was originally made for, and then go, I don't need this to be different. I don't need this to be different. I need to be what I am. I need to love, perfect, open, allowance. Michael Langford clued us into the true nature of the loving all method. Of course, it's his method, so he would. But when he points out, and I think I've spoken about this before, but when I saw this, it's just amazing. It's like paragraph number 48, how he numbers each sentence. But paragraph number 48, in the description of the loving all method, he points out, changing the long time habit of emotionally rejecting experience will require lots of practice. Wait a minute, what? Let's look at it again. Well, I thought he was talking about loving everything. What's this doing in here? We have a long time habit of emotionally rejecting experience. What is that? Judgment. The belief that something needs to be different. It's the way this world was created. It's what we're doing here in the first place. And it's how we maintain this illusion. It's how we maintain this belief in division and separate selves. Oh, I need this to be different. I hear Liz out there talking to the dog, George. So loving all isn't like, oh, I'm a spiritual student and I'm going to, it's not about that. It's about bringing ourselves into harmony with life. It's about no longer adding to the experience of a world that reflects our desire to see the opposite of truth. Am I loving acceptance? Am I perfect allowance? Am I empty? NTI Corinthians talks about becoming the empty shell. This is what's being talked about. Letting go of self-will so that I am my true nature. So love isn't something I try to do and okay, I'll be nice and it's not about that. It's about not rejecting what's right in front of me. It's about coming into harmony with my experience as opposed to needing to tweak a little bit. Oh, let me tweak this, and this. That's maintaining the illusion. Those are my choices. So the goal becomes really clear, and it's not just a nice thing to do. A nice way to try to be with life if I can, if it's, not too much effort. This is it. This is the practice. Can I be what I am? Can I allow what I am to be through me? Perfect allowance. So what are the blocks? What keeps me from doing it? The blocks are those circumstances in our individual lives that we would want to be different. I want her to talk less. I want to work less. I want him to be more respectful. I want my coworkers to behave differently. These are the perfect setup. These situations, whatever it is, whatever that thing is that irritates me a little bit, or I'd want to tweak it a little bit. Those are the circumstances that allow me to experience the truth of my being. Can I allow that to be with it, to be what it is, without needing it to change? And the more I do this, and Michael Langford tells us this in his book, the more I do this, the more I'm able to do it. The more I practice being the truth of who I am, the more I feel that, the more gratitude that arises in me for the truth of my being. Thank God I don't need things to be different than they are. And I wanted Shawna to read that final chapter because it tells you how to do it. To greet one another, to give patience to your brother, to give trust to your brother, to give hope to your brother, to give love to your brother, to be humble. This is loving what is. It's not like, well, if he does what I want him to do, then I'll do those things. How do I do that? How do I do that? That's perfect openness. Greet one another. Not, that's not greeting. I got my arms crossed and no. How do I be perfect openness? How do I be humble? How do I not need him to have my view? Right? How do I not need my brother to be different? It says here to be free of delusion, release delusional thoughts. What's the delusional thought? I need this to be different. Question what you think against that which you truly desire. What do I really want? I want to know the truth of my being. And I can't know the truth of my being if I need this situation to be different. To let go of division-based thoughts, I need this to be different. To let go of division-based thoughts is to let go of all that isn't true. This frees the mind of what it believes and opens it to remember its truth. So when I'm not needing things to be different, what am I doing? I'm experiencing the truth of my being. It is what we are. Love, perfect, open, allowance is what we are. So if I'm not participating in the need to tinker, to have things be a little bit different, what am I participating in? Love, perfect, open allowance. It's not something I achieve. It's something that's there. Just like A Course in Miracles told us. It's inherent. What does that mean? It's what I'm made of. And so, as we know, NTI talks about, and what's the solution? The solution's always the same: surrender and trust. Surrender and trust. And it struck me, and I know I'm running out of time here. It struck me. Well, wait. What is trust? And we often think of trust as, that things will work out. Maybe not that I'm going to get exactly what I want, but things will be work out. I'll be taken care of. The trust is trusting that things don't need to be different than they are. How simple is that? That's what trust is. How do I trust? Trust that things don't need to be different than they are. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, that your life circumstances are exactly what you need. to show you how you're clinging to that ancient desire that things be different than they are. So it is what it is. Our task is to just see that, to see that what the world is for, to see what we are, which is perfect allowance, and to practice perfect allowance. And to trust that things don't need to be different than they are. And I think Don has put, thank you all. I think Don has put our donation link on the board. And normally when folks don't talk so long, we would have a song at this point, but I think maybe we'll wait and play a song. Maybe George will let us play our song during fellowship. I want to open it up. Thank you, George. I want to open up now for your sharing. If anybody would like to comment on what they've heard this morning, we'd love to hear it. Regina.
I guess I'll comment. I was waiting to see if I saw anybody else first before I stole the minutes. But, you know, that was perfect. It was perfect. You know, I quoted a lot of things that you said on the board. You know, loving all is about bringing ourselves into harmony with life. I added, as it's happening, without exceptions. It's not about rejecting what's right in front of me. Can I be what I am? Perfect allowance. Trust is trusting that things don't need to be different than they are. You know, sometimes people want to know, you know, how I've gotten to the stage that I am at right now. And I will tell you that what you taught today is a key. You know, trusting that my life was perfect. Trusting that every detail of this life is exactly what needs to be happening in order for me to awaken, and using it. Not just trusting, but using it, you know. And I have seen more than once in writing that your life is your path. And that is certainly what NTI teaches. You know, recently we got a dog, and this dog is very fearful. So she's a lot of work, so much work that I can tell you I don't even meditate every day right now, because I get up in the morning and my attention needs to go to the dog. You know, the only thing I can do, the only thing that I'm programmed to do now, because I've reprogrammed myself, is to trust that this is perfect, that this dog has been given, that everything that, you know, the way our life is changing, my entire life has changed. Those who know me best can tell you that the way my entire life is changing is exactly what needs to happen now. And that's how I've lived my entire spiritual life. I think that's the fast track. Trusting everything that happens in your life, not resisting any of it, going with all of it. It's all a gift from God, 100%. So, you know, I just wanted to echo what you said, Jacquelyn, because I really think that's the fast track. And I think when we resist our life and we think our life should be different in any way, we're dragging our feet. And I think that's what NTI means when it says you only face two things on this path, willingness or resistance. Right? It looks like you're facing many things, it says, but you're really in every moment either facing your willingness or your resistance. And it asks you to really pay attention that whenever you're experiencing any kind of pain, even mild annoyance, you're in resistance. And when you're experiencing joy, enthusiasm, you know, Jacquelyn said that it felt like an insult. I told her it would feel like an insult. I said, I'm about to say it's probably going to feel like an insult, but I need to say it anyway because I love you. And she said, okay, go ahead. And I did tell her that I thought that it was possible, and that was just me being very gentle in the way I language things, that her desire for awakening wasn't strong enough. But the reason that I knew that is because she's not enthused. You know, when you're excited about your life, you're enthusiastic about your life, when you understand that your life is your path to awakening, and you want awakening more than anything, then every single thing that's happening is a gift, and every single thing that's happening is helping you to wake up. And even though, sure, you experience the darkness that arises, there's this excitement about all of it. You know, I've said this so many times about my relationship with Laurent. You know, to the average person, that relationship just looked like pure hell. But what I describe it as is a miracle. How could I have that enthusiasm and that excitement and that, you know, going forwardness with eagerness in such a difficult relationship? It was simply that my desire to awaken was strong enough, and I knew that's what this life was all about. So perfect teaching today, Jacquelyn. I started to say Lynn because I was reading her comments. She also quoted you. Lynn did as well. Perfect teaching today, and I really hope everyone heard it, because it is one of the keys. People are always looking for the keys. This is one of them. Thank you.
Hey, Don, go ahead. I saw the time's up comment. Regina, thank you so much. Thank you for making me excited again, for allowing me to see that. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This was our weekly gathering that we hold online. For more information, you can visit our website at awakening-together.org, or you can subscribe to our Awakening Together channel and click the bell for more notifications when we post our weekly gatherings. Thank you again for watching.